Hi friends, in today's video, we are going to do something that I haven't done for a very long time. We are going to discuss my TBR for the June Journeys with the Inklings readathon. Now, if you haven't heard of this readathon, I originally missed it too. I have been following Kaylee from Luminous Libros for a while now, but somehow I just missed her original announcement video a couple of months ago. I think at this point, I don't know how I missed it. I've been in kind of a reading slump, and I've been busy, so I haven't had a lot of YouTube watching time. So that's probably how this happened. But then, more recently, leading up to the readathon that she has created, she has been putting out recommendations videos for each of the prompts for this readathon. And I saw it and I was like, what is this? Did I miss something? Sure enough, yes, I did. So I just thought that this sounded like a really fun way to get myself back into reading for the summer. And if you've been around BookTube for any length of time, you know that summer seems to be when all the readathons start happening and all the reading challenges. Summer Book Bingo is one of them that Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia is hosting. I'll leave her announcement video down below as well. And that goes all summer long. Kate Howe, I'm a member of her Patreon group, and she is doing a summer reading challenge. And then there's Kaylee, who is doing the June Journeys with the Inklings readathon for the month of June. So yeah, I just thought like, hey, let's start strong and we'll do a readathon, and that'll hopefully get me a lot of the prompts even for the other challenges that I'm going to try to participate in. So let's just get right on to the prompts for the June Journeys with the Inklings readathon. Now, this readathon is kind of following the hero's journey that a lot of the Inklings took their fantasy characters on. So it kind of, all the prompts kind of follow the style of a hero's quest. So I have my planner with all the prompts in here and what I plan to read. So if you see me looking at my book, at least it kind of matches my shirt today. Then you know why. Okay, so the first prompt is that when you start your journey, you encounter a wise mentor, or a wise mentor finds you. And for Kaylee, because Kaylee is a Christian, and many of the Inklings, but definitely C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, were Christians. So for the encountering of a wise mentor, basically the prompt is to read the Bible. You don't have to read the whole Bible in June. I've heard it done, but that is a little intense. But she said, just a passage, one book of the Bible, one chapter of the Bible, anything basically would count. And she recommends, and I would recommend too, if you are not a Bible reader, but you want to participate in this readathon. If you've never read the Bible before, I would recommend starting with the Gospel of John. It is towards the beginning of the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It is the fourth gospel, but that is where many Christians, myself included, would recommend that new Christians or people that are just, curious about what it's all about should start. So yeah, definitely if you're going to participate in this and you want to read something from the Bible, start with John. I, on the other hand, am starting one of the kind of insane challenges that I have seen. My friend Alicia and I have decided that we are going to start a Bible in 100 days reading challenge. So we found this on one of the apps that basically has the Bible. It's the Life Way app or something like that. I'll have to see if I can find it and link it in here. But um, they have a 100-day reading plan for the entire Bible. So I'm assuming that within the month of June, I will probably have the whole book of Genesis done at least. So, because it will basically take me all summer. And then if I do complete it in the right amount of time and maybe even an extra like push for one day, I should be able to include it in Tiffany's challenge for the over 500 page book because it is well over 500 pages. Now, I'm not going to be totally reading this with my eyeballs. I'm going to utilize the David Suchet audio Bible version. So somebody in Kate Howell's Patreon group recommended that to me, so that's what I'm going with. So, wish me luck, but I will at least be through the book of Genesis, I'm pretty sure, by the end of June. So, the next prompt is to research ancient legends, because that would be, another part of a hero's journey to like go to a library and find out like the backstory of why you are going on this quest to begin with. And that is to read a nonfiction work by an Inkling. So all of my choices are based off of Kaylee's recommendations videos because, like I said, I've been in a slump. I was kind of not in the place to like research all the more obscure Inklings because there's a lot of them and a lot of them I've never heard of before. So I should get to them eventually, but we're starting, kind of easy. So I am going with one of the C.S. Lewis books that I want to read, complete in my lifetime. And I am going to go with The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis. And this book is just exploring the question of if God is such a good God, why does he allow his creation to suffer? So I feel like that's a pretty good question. Now tell me, if you are a Christian, do the C.S. Lewis nonfiction books classify as Christian apologetics? Because I know apologetics is kind of like talking about why we believe what we believe. So my goal in reading a lot of this nonfiction by C.S. Lewis is to kind of be able to talk to people that are, maybe would question my faith. And like just even for me to just get a better knowledge of why there's we believe and get like some answers to my question. Just be nice to like have somebody's like researched opinion on it, so, and that is probably the age-old argument from non-Christians to Christians is, well, there's so much suffering in the world, how could God be a good God? So I want to be able to answer that question. So am I right in what Christian apologetics is? You'd think I would know. But I don't. So, I've never really been great at that, what all that is. Okay, so anyway, the next prompt is you have to set out on your quest. You have researched why you were doing this, and now you are setting out on your quest. And the quest is to read a fiction book by an Inkling. And for that, I am going to read, and maybe you can see it, I'm going to read at least one book of the Narnia series. I have read the whole series before, and actually, I think I am not going to start with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I do read them in publication order, and I believe that that is the correct way to read them, not in chronological order. But because I have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe so many times, I want to maybe just reread the second book, and go from there, because I know that one, that's the most famous one, so I want to continue with the rest of the series. So I think I will read the second book, which, as I am trying to think of what it is, I can't think of what the second book is, so I'm going to put it here. Oh man, I'm not very well prepared for this. I mean, I'm kind of prepared, but so anyway. So next, the fourth prompt is to discover hidden magic. Because of course, if this is a fantasy world and you're going on a quest, you're going to discover magic and magical creatures. And this is to read a new to you Inkling work. And I here am going to try to read another of C.S. Lewis's nonfiction, and that is going to be The Four Loves. And this is just discussing the four different, like, not love languages, the four definitions of love. So like friendship love, um, uh, erotic love, love for God, and romantic love. That's the other one. I was like, what am I missing? So I thought, if I'm talking about a question that pretty much everybody asks about suffering, I should pair it with what love is. um, okay, next. Where am I? 5. Okay. This one is to rescue the damsel, because every quest needs the rescuing of a lovely princess, or something of that sort. And this is to read poetry by an Inkling. And I am not a big poetry person, not gonna lie, but because I do love The Lord of the Rings, but I just finished a read through of The Lord of the Rings. Did I read that at the beginning of this year? Oh no, I read The Return of the King in January, reread. So because I love The Lord of the Rings, I decided that I was going to read the lengthy poem, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, who is a brief character in, is it The Two Towers? I think he shows up in The Two Towers. I'm pretty sure. But I've always kind of loved Tom Bombadil and wished there was more of him. So I didn't actually know that there was a entire, like, separate poem about him. So that was in Kaylee's recommendation video. So that's what I'm going with. And that's by Tolkien. And then number 6, restore a magical sword, because that's often something that happens. A magical weapon of some sort, or a magical thing needs to be restored to its rightful owner, kind of a deal. So that is a work that was either influenced by, so like a modern work influenced by the Inklings, or a book that influenced the Inklings. So Kaylee has 2 different videos. One that talks about books that actually influenced the Inklings, which I was thinking about. I was possibly going to read The Warden by Trollope, because it was apparently mentioned as a book that I think Lewis really enjoyed. But then I got to thinking, like, I should read something modern, or more modern, that was influenced by an Inkling. So I decided, and I'm still a little bit unsure, because I'm interested in reading Redwall, Watership Down, and The Door Within. And I think I might try to read all of them, because they all seem sort of short. And if I read them on audiobook, I feel like I could. But I think I am definitely going to go with The Door Within. And this is because a long time ago, in my 20s, I wrote a short book and self-published it. And it was just, I self-published it basically for me, just to get a bound copy of the book. So, like, we're not even going to discuss it, because the idea of anybody on BookTube reading it and reviewing it just terrifies me. So we're not even going to talk about it. But the premise of The Door Within sort of sounds like the premise of my book that I had written. And I've never read The Door Within, so it's not like they're that similar that I like just copied this author, but I was just interested in that premise, I suppose. And it is a Christian work, so that is something that a lot of people who followed the Inklings and wrote books. A lot of them are Christian and have Christian themes. Because if you didn't know, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Narnia series, and The Lord of the Ring are full of Christian symbolism. I think I'm going to read The Door Within, and then I will try to get to Watership Down and Redwall if I can. Okay. Oh, and I just realized that number 7, Defeat the Dark Lord, to watch a screen adaptation. I did not pick one of those. So that's gonna have to be determined because I just realized that I left it blank. And then, okay, so then the last prompt is to fulfill the prophecy, because the hero's journey usually is like chosen one kind of thing, and I do love a good chosen one prompt or theme. And you have to fulfill the prophecy of you were going to save the world or something like that. So that is to read a book that is about the Inklings or one of the Inklings, or that kind of thing. So from Kaylee's recommendations, I have 2 that I'm thinking about. Probably either one of them is going to be an audiobook. And I'm either going to read The Inklings by Humphrey Carpenter or J.A.R. Tolkien, A Life Inspired by Wyatt North. I am thinking at this point that I would kind of like to read a biography on just Tolkien. So I might try that, the Wyatt North one, but I'm kind of unclear. I'm going to try to do these kind of in order because, you're going on a quest. You're not like all over the place. So I feel like you kind of have to read these things in somewhat of an order. And I think that will help me too with my reading slump. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like if I have more of like a set plan that I might be better, but we'll see. So yeah, those are the books that I plan to read for Luminous Libro's June Journeys with the Inklings Readathon. I will have Kaylee's original announcement video linked below, as well as Tiffany for Beautiful Minutia, her summer book bingo, her original announcement video down below. And oh, and also just to let you know that Kaylee also has made somehow a map that you can print out, or just to follow along on your journey. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to print it out kind of small and put it in my little journal here. Or maybe I do have a book journal that I haven't done anything with in a while, so maybe should actually put it in there. That's probably a better option, because that way I can make it bigger. But I definitely plan on doing that. So that's just a fun little extra that she did for you. So for us, and yeah, I think that's it for my return to BookTube in a way. And I'm not even going to say how often I'm going to be back in June for updates on this. We'll try for once a week, to kind of like maybe like a Friday reads type of a thing. But I'm not gonna stick or concretely say that, because I always seem to fail. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful end of their May, and is ready for all the reading in June. And I hope that your summers are going to be lovely and just full of relaxation. That's what we all want, right? All right. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye.